I'm speaking with Bjorn Lee, who is the founder of a company called AppyZoo. Bjorn, what does AppyZoo actually do?
Well, we make educational games on the iPhone and iPad for kids. And what we do is we found that a lot of parents are passing back their iPhones. And this is called the pass back effect by the Sesame Workshop, the same guys who make Sesame Street. They are passing their phones back to the child because either the child loves the phone too much because they found it very intuitive to
You
use.
mean when they get a new phone, they give the old phone to the child?
No, their current phone actually.
Oh,
So
okay.
I mean, both parents could either pass their existing phones or either, older models of the phones to the child. But the thing is, there's a lot of usage of these new devices, these smartphones, touch-enabled devices by the children. Um, and so parents are doing a lot of that. And what we want to do is we want to create fun for the kids and make them learn something at the same time. Because right now a lot of kids are just playing. They're very infatuated with the Angry Birds game, and fun as the Angry Birds game can be, but we think that if we can actually um, sneak in some learning value into the games they're playing, it will really accelerate their growth for the future.
So can you give an example of an app that you've created that does help teach kids?
Yeah, so we've got one upcoming application, which is called Stickery. So Stickery is the name of this new application we're creating. In Stickery, they are story-based learning experiences. In this application, they'll be earning stickers through the entire application. So what happens is that we pick a popular story, let's say for example Snow White. Um, we take the entire story of Snow White and we break it up into a series of chapters, also called game stages. And in each of these stages, they'll be trying to defeat the witch at the same time learn about the story. So one example could be that as the dwarves are this scene where the dwarves are trying to defeat the witch, and the witch could be jumping around, flying around, and the challenge to the child at that point of time is to say find six dwarfs, to defeat the witch. So they'll be trying to drag it and drop it on top of the witch, and if they get six exactly on the witch and not seven and not five, then the witch disappears and they can move on to the next stage.
So it is a game,
It's
basically,
a game
a
basically.
multi-stage
Yeah,
game.
multi-stage game. But in this game, they're learning about numbers, and we could also get them to learn about colors, learning about various object association. Like maybe say they reach a castle, and their job now is to find out what doesn't belong there, right? In the castle. Like for example, a car doesn't belong to the castle. For example, say toothpaste or toothbrush don't belong at the castle, or maybe say a spaceship don't belong at the castle. So it's really teaching. It's more about teaching kids cognitive skills. They're really crucial for their development at the age.
So what age group would this be for?
This will be for 2 to 6, the preschool pre-K market.
Okay. Now, do you want to have enough apps so that kids graduate from one app to the other?
Yeah, well, our company is really focused on the preschool market for now, and what we do is we have multiple applications. They're based on various stories. So it could be Snow White, it could be Peter Pan, and we want them to learn more about these classic stories, and learn something that's relevant to them in terms of numbers or literacy development from these various stories. So they get to expand their understanding of traditional children's literature, at the same time learn something that's useful for them for their future education too.
Is this a free app or is it one of the ones that you have to pay for?
Oh, both actually. So both free and paid.
So you have a simpler version that's free and a more
Yeah,
elaborate version that's
yeah,
paid?
something that's a lot more stages for the paid version.
Okay. Are there other companies manufacturing similar apps? Do you have competition? Because there are something like 150,000 apps last I
Yeah,
heard.
yeah. There's actually 270,000 applications right today, on the App Store. Um, and well, we have a lot of competition, and the competition we're talking about is actually specifically in the educational games category. But we love the competition because right now I think it's very early days for the industry. We are talking about a new class of learning software for children everywhere. And the best way children can learn is through fun and stories. So we found that in this space, there's not a lot of people who do that really well. And what we want to do is first to engage the child through fun and be able to promote and inculcate some learning value in these games as well. Because it gives them a very positive first impression with learning.
Now, does it take some kind of background in child psychology to figure out how to create these apps so that they'll appeal to kids? So what does your company bring to this that other people might not be able to bring?
Right. Well, that's a good question. I mean, the thing is that our team is is experience with gaming and children's media production. So from the gaming world, um, we found that it's very important to create an incentive, a goal-driven purpose for why kids should do something. Because even though they are kids, they will only do something if it's worthwhile. So there has to be a reward there. So how do we exactly bring our previous experience from designing games online to developing children's games has got some overlap. But at the same time, there's some innovation as well because using game mechanics to encourage kids to learn and learn more through games is a very new field that we're exploring right here. And in children's media production, which is what my other team members bring to the table, is how to use videos to communicate through visuals to children in the pre-K stage where they can't read. You know, how to use audios, moving visuals through videos to kind of draw them into the story and make them want to perform certain actions. So far, we have got pretty good results. Our engagement times for the children on every application is very high compared to other applications.
Now, does this compete with real toys, physical toys? Because the iPhone is very small to a small child. Maybe it looks a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But is it better to be playing on an iPhone or to be playing with real blocks and building houses with blocks and Legos?
I think it's very complementary. In fact, we are big believers of being balanced, having a balanced approach to what children interact with. We don't want, the last thing we want is for them to just play the application in the house every day. They need to go out there, smell the roses literally, and play around the gardens, you know, play some ball games, to learn about nature. But this is a complement to all that. We believe that our games are not just on the iPhone and iPad, right? The reason why this series of applications are stickery is because they could be these digital icons could be printed out as physical stickers as well. So there's this real virtual world kind of interaction that we are kind of putting into the game. So they could, if they like certain characters, they could print it out and use it to decorate the physical environment. And we think that's fun because it allows them to extend the experience to a new physical, to their original physical environment.
Now, what do you have coming up? Are you planning several apps ahead into the future?
Yes. So we've for 2011 we have a pipeline of about 6 to 7 applications. In fact, we'll be launching the first stickery application in January, and then subsequently we hope to release one every 2 months.
And so, you know, some people say that computers are changing the way people think, but we really haven't studied very much how it's changing people. By putting children on computers, are we changing them in a way that, you know, may be good, may be positive, but maybe there are some aspects that are not so positive? Have you given any thought to that? Like, where are we heading with this?
Yeah, well, I think you know, technology has always been advancing to improve mankind. I believe the same argument happened when Gutenberg invented the press, the printing press as well, and people were looking at books as a new piece of technology that they were unfamiliar with, and how would that take them away from the traditional oral technique of teaching and learning about tales that teach them about how the society operates. Today, I think we have the benefit of us seeing you know, touch-based devices like the iPhone, be it the Galaxy Tab, Android tablets that allow children to directly manipulate and interact with an object. I think it's really powerful. The thing is that books are written in you know, in a passive textual format. It takes a while before their education catches up with their ability to digest content from a book. Computers have while they innovate on top of books, open up a whole new universe of content through the screen. They could be connected through the internet or maybe through native software on a computer, but they still have a keyboard and mouse. With the tablet devices, touch-based devices, children don't even have to learn about all these, you know, human interface, you know, intermediaries like the keyboard and the mouse. They could go direct and just touch it immediately, get an immediate response. And you always see the joy and curiosity from kids whenever they found that something else they touch respond back to them. So I think the immediate feedback of the touchscreens devices we see today is something that speaks a lot more on a deeper level to children everywhere.
Do you plan to expand into apps for older kids, or are you specializing in preschool?
For now, I think for the next couple of years, we intend to focus on the preschool children. Just because I think we want to perfect our, we want to refine our form of storytelling and game development first in a non-textual way for kids. Yeah.
Does it take a lot of research to plan this, or is it just a few people sitting around and saying, let's try this?
Yeah, well, I would love it
until
to be the second form because if you just have a couple of guys in a garage just thinking about it, that'll be perfect. Unfortunately, that kind of model doesn't work today. I mean, we have to we work very closely with advisors in academia, in industry, to so we have a advisor at MIT Learning Arcade, who is actually helping us kind of refine a lot of these learning games and just connect it with a growing and existing literature and history of educational products that's either succeeded or failed. We want to be very relevant, and I think it's important that we kind of have this connecting bridge with stuff that's really been done so that we don't repeat the mistakes of history.
Well, great. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you
We're
very
going to
much.
have to wrap. Thank you very much
Thank you very much.
for
I'm very
being
happy to be
interviewed.
here. Yeah.
Okay, great.